In this short video, we're going to cover a new tool built inside the Webex Control Hub. You simply click Updates, and this will take you right into a new wizard that will allow you to easily migrate from on-premise phones to MPP phones and get them registered to Webex Calling. So you can think of this as the evolution of upgrade.cisco.com if you're familiar with that, but we never have to enter upgrade.cisco.com. We can do sort of one-stop shopping right here. The first step is to review the migration prerequisites. So these are just the basics, setting up PSTN, making sure your users are added to Control Hub, and making sure you're running the latest firmware. Once you've done that, then you can click Start New Task, and this will allow you to basically start the process. So I enter a name for the task. So I give my task a name and click Next, and then there are two things to do. Number one is export the user attributes. This is basically their username. And then the second would be download a CSV template. This is the template that we need to fill out and then upload. So basically I can use the username from my user attributes and then populate that into column A. And then there are some other columns here that we don't actually need to worry about right now. The big things that we have to worry about are the model number. So for example, the Cisco 8861 or 65. We also need the MAC address and we need the location. So I'm going to pull up a CSV that I've already filled out. I put the users in there, the model number 8851 and 7821, and the MAC address and the location. So we're going to go ahead and upload that. So we just click upload, and then I will find my file and go ahead and import that into the system. Then I click next. Now what happens is it runs a validation check to make sure that these MAC addresses are legitimate. So in this example, it's going to validate that the 8851 and the 7821 are eligible. Now you can see the 7821 is listed as ineligible. What does that mean? It means that in this particular case, the hardware version is not high enough. The 7821 requires hardware version 3 or higher to be eligible. So the Webex Control Hub can determine based upon the MAC address whether the device meets the minimum requirements to migrate. So it's going to skip that. So we're going to go ahead and prepare for migration by clicking OK. So what it's going to do is import all of the eligible devices into the Webex Control Hub, associate that MAC address, and add that device to the actual end user. So let's just give it a few seconds here. And we can now see that it says status ready for migration. So I'm going to click the trigger migration, and then it provides me some instructions basically to download the file. So downloading the file, as we'll look at in a second, you were actually going to add this file into UC Manager. So I click download file, and this pulls up a text document of MAC addresses. So if I go ahead and open this, this is what I will import into UC Manager. So let's go ahead and perform that next step. So here I am in UC Manager. I go to Upload Download Files, and here is where I'm going to click Add New in order to import my file. So I choose the file that I had just exported from Webex Control Hub, and then I select the target. So the target, you can't see it on the screen, but it says phones. And then the next thing I will do is choose update phones, custom file, and then overwrite the file if it exists. I then click save. Now I go back into the bulk administration. I choose phones. I choose update phones, and then custom file. And then now here is the MAC address that imported from the text document. I click next. So I'm going to select restart phones after we're done filling out this page. The next thing I want to do is select the phone load name. So I populate that phone load name and check the phone load name checkbox. The next thing I need to do is load server. So we're going to use a load server in the cloud called Cloud Upgrader server.webex.com, and then I check the box for load server, and then I want to run this task immediately. And then I click submit. Now you might be asking yourself, how did I know the firmware name to populate under the phone load name parameter in UC Manager? Well, that information is located right here in Control Hub. Now my phone that's registered to UC Manager will go ahead and upgrade to MPP software and automatically acquire the required licenses. So you don't have to go anywhere else for licenses. So what the phone is doing is essentially phoning home, and it goes to the EDOS server. The EDOS server sends it over to Webex Calling. So this is a message of success that the license file is authorized because we followed the process. This is actually a sign of success. The upgrade simply means that it went to a newer version of MPP firmware to get off of the transitional load. So that's what this firmware upgrade means. Let's give it just another second. So the device is now rebooting, and it is moving off of the transitional load onto a normal MPP firmware. And as it initializes, it will come up on this screen, which is just the initial startup screen, but it is going to pull its configuration from Webex Calling, and it will continue to register to Webex Calling, and it's just applying the last few pieces of the configuration. So this continues to register, and now it's rebooting, and it's successfully registered. And if we go back to Control Hub and search for the user that we had listed during the import process, we will find the 8861 phone. We can see that it's online, and we can also see the MAC address matches. So that is the overview. Thank you very much.